Oh. Welcome back. Ooh. Hi, I have a sore throat. This might be just because the past few weeks I've been drinking a lot of alcoholic adult beverages. It might just be because I picked up a new student and I'm teaching a lot more, so I'm using my voice. It might just be that I'm making a lot more YouTube videos, spilling all the beans, all the tea, pun intended, all the tea about all of the trauma that I have accumulated in the years between high school and college. It might be a combination of all of those things. Or it might just be none of those things. Who knows? My body's just going through a lot right now. I had an infection, like a throat infection a couple of weeks ago, and after like a severe round of antibiotics, my body's like,
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
I think these are some of the things that, I'm just experiencing right now. Anyway, the trauma that I chose to unpack today revolves getting rescinded by UC Berkeley and how that affected me and my choice to not major in computer science. There's so much to tell about that time in my life. There was just so much going on. For those of you who haven't already watched the first video where I talk about how I got rescinded, like why I got rescinded, I'm gonna link the video up here in the cards, but to kind of give you a quick little summary of why it is that I got rescinded. The summer right after my junior year in high school, I took a class through this summer bridge program that allows high school students to apply, and if you get in, you can take UCLA classes, like college level classes. The class that I chose to take at the time was a computer science class, and it was like algorithms or some shit. At the time, I wasn't told that there were certain math requirements that I needed to take that class. They kind of just let you take whatever, and I was like, cool, I'm just gonna sign up. And so I signed up for that class not knowing that I needed some prereqs or whatever, so I did really poorly in that class. When I was applying to colleges and stuff, there's a portion of the application where you have to fill in or self-report your grades for all of the classes that you've ever taken since the day of your birth or whatever. For that class, I ended up getting a D. At the time, I didn't realize that I made a typo and I put a W instead of a D. When UC Berkeley did the final check to make sure that all of the self-reported grades that I punched into the application were in fact factual, they saw a discrepancy. So I ended up getting rescinded. And because my parents raised me to believe that I was gifted and talented and would succeed in everything that I did, I never learned to deal with failure, and so getting a D in that UCLA Summer Bridge computer science class, and then experiencing the traumatic event of getting rescinded by UC Berkeley 1 month right before moving in, some combination of those three events kind of just made me completely scared of ever taking a computer science class ever again. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Terry, and my whole life, up until high school at least, I was told that I was a gifted and talented child and I would succeed in everything that I do. And so I kind of took that information to heart and I just went with it. Everything I did it very confidently, and for the most part, confidence does help you succeed, because for the most part, I think I did high school pretty well. So yeah, after I took that UCLA course in computer science and failed miserably, I decided that I was just no good at computer science, which was weird because I had tried to paint my entire high school identity as this person who was going to be incredibly successful at computer science, not having had any experience coding. I don't know why I did this to myself. There are many instances in my life where I would just imagine myself being incredibly successful at something that I have never dipped my toes in. I think maybe I was 5 years old when this first happened. I firmly believed that I was going to be a world-class, the best ever, incredible, majestic, beautiful ballerina without ever having taken a ballet class. It doesn't correlate, doesn't fit, Another instance when this happened was I thought I was going to be an Olympian surfer. And I hadn't even owned a skateboard at that point. So I couldn't even surf on normal ground. And I thought I could do it on water. And so, anyway, growing up, I was highly encouraged and supported by my parents. My parents were immigrants from Vietnam. They fled. And so they experienced a lot of trauma. And they decided the first child that I have, which is me, she's going to be our destiny. Therefore, I was conceived and I came into this world. My parents had predetermined for me. They had decided that I was going to do great things. And so everything that I did as a child growing up, my parents would be very supportive of. I dreamed up a lot of big dreams. Growing up, my parents struggled a lot with money. Seeing how much my parents struggled, I wanted to be, their destined child or whatever. Not the one that Beyonce was in. If I was, then my parents would be retired by now and they wouldn't have anything to worry about. But I wanted to be their destiny child, like the one who was going to pull them out of poverty and retire my mother. And so throughout high school, I devised a plan. I was going to do extremely well in school. I was going to attend an amazing college. I was going to major in something that would give me or land me a lucrative job, and I would retire my parents and we live happily ever after. Of course, this was a dream that I was being sold by a lot of the counselors at my high school, by a lot of, big tech companies, by a lot of colleges. So therefore, part of my plan was to attend, like one of those big techie type schools like MIT or wherever and major in computer science. And so to get ahead of the rest of my peers, I get this bright idea to attend this UCLA summer bridge program. So I do it. I don't know, maybe I just didn't study hard enough that summer, or I just wasn't getting the material. I don't know. Yeah, so I did terribly. And so after that summer, I was like, okay, that class was a shit show, but I still believe that I can major in computer science and be relatively good at it. So yeah, I applied to all these schools, and whenever you apply to college, on the application, they ask you what is your intended major, and you could choose like 1 or 3 or 5. It really depends on the school that you're applying to. And so for all of my schools, I placed in the first slot computer science or computer engineering or some form of computer whatever the fuck as my first choice major. I ended up getting into some schools, and UC Berkeley was one of them. And so I decided to commit to UC Berkeley because I had heard that UC Berkeley is a great school for computer science. It's very competitive. And I was like, oh, competitive? I guess I should be there. I had originally wanted to attend Stanford because Stanford is just it's just beautiful. Berkeley was the second best thing. Berkeley was the closest school that fit into this narrative or this plan that I had drawn up to sort of save my parents. And then they rescinded me. And so my plan A was out of the window. Plan B was out of the window. Plan C. So I applied to community college, and I had about like 2 weeks or something to scramble all my information together, apply to community college, get all my classes and all of that shit. Let me tell you that young 17-year-old Terry was traumatized. I was not ready for that whirlwind of failures that happened all at one time. And so I was scared to death to take a computer science course because in my mind, I thought, because the last time that you took a computer science course, you got a D. So why did you fail that miserably? And then that D caused you to lose your offer at UC Berkeley, which was your plan B. So it's not like you were that successful if you had to go with your plan B. It was just a lot. I was so scared of taking computer science courses because I was scared I was going to fail that miserably again. And then it would have been of my time. Number one, it would have been a waste of money because I'm paying tuition now and school is no longer free like it was in high school. Yeah, and I was scared that it was going to like stain my transcript or something. And therefore I did not declare my major in the first year of community college. I took a bunch of math classes and I enjoyed every single one of those. I managed to take a bunch of cool classes that really expanded my worldview. I was very sheltered as a kid growing up, and so there were certain things that I wasn't really exposed to. Like maybe in high school, I would think, oh yeah, I'm so glad that the world isn't sexist anymore. Going into college, I was like, what do you mean women make 70 something cents to every man's dollar? I also learned that you didn't have to attend a 4-year university straight out of high school in order for you to be successful. In fact, some people don't attend college at all and have jobs that make a lot of money. Not that money is the only determining factor of success, but it certainly helps, to have $5,000 laying around. So yeah, I did not know that other things made a lot of money. So that first year in college really opened my eyes to a bunch of things. All the while I was avoiding computer science classes, I was learning all of these new things, and I was like, I can probably major in something that will never make me responsible for taking a computer science class ever again. It wasn't until maybe the second year in college when I discovered that I had a knack, but not only a knack, and I would say more important than a knack, but kind of a love for mathematics. So yeah, in my second year of college, I chose math to be my major, and the lower division graduation requirements, nowhere did it say that I had to take a computer science class. So I was like, win, you know, I'm just gonna be a math major. And I guess the reason why I didn't have to take a computer science class was because I chose to be a pure math major, like the math major that wouldn't get a job when they graduated. It was perfect. Here I have a major that I love, and it doesn't require me to take a computer science class. When I applied to transfer, I looked at all of the requirements in order to major in mathematics or to complete and get a degree in mathematics. All of them required at least one computer science class. And I was so sad. Whenever I started school at UCLA, I had to take the computer science class, and guess which class your girl had to end up taking? The class that she failed during that summer after her junior year in high school, that computer science class, I had to retake it again, this time as a junior in college, and I had to pass. I ended up taking it my junior year, the summer right after my junior year in college, funny enough. I pass. I get an A. Woohoo. It wasn't as bad. I just think that my level of mathematics at the time in high school just wasn't up to par. And that brings us to the present day. I think I needed to be rescinded by UC Berkeley in order for me to experience character development. I feel as though community college was a gift to me. I ended up graduating with much less debt than I would have accumulated if I had gone straight to a 4-year university. Experience makes for great stories. In the moment, my experience of getting rescinded by UC Berkeley, that was a shit show. But looking back at it, kind of a funny story, don't you think? So in the end, everything ended up working out. Okay, I'm done with my makeup. I have a couple of tutoring sessions. I'm gonna show you my silly little outfit. I know it looks like I only own crop tops and jeans, but it's like 85 degrees here in California. And also, it's 2020. Shouldn't we stop telling women, and especially girls, like, we should stop telling them what to wear and what not to wear? Thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, go ahead and leave me a sun emoji in the comments down below, just so that I know you're out there. Let's go ahead and start some conversations. The comment section is kind of an awesome place to talk to a bunch of people and like say a bunch of cool things and share our experiences. So let's do that, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.